Hey guys, check it out. You're watching Jonathan Clarke on YouTube. Oh no! I have to be honest with you girls for a moment. I really do love Tangled, so when I realized that my YouTube channel was having such an incredible reach and fans of Tangled were subscribing to this YouTube channel, which I respect so much, it was the greatest honor of my life. And when I heard about how Ruby Rose Turner wanted to portray Rapunzel in the live-action Tangled up and coming from Disney Studios, I was so supportive of it. I fell in love with the idea of Ruby Rose Turner playing Rapunzel because she was so passionate about it. And if there was one Disney princess she wanted to bring to life, it would have had to have been Rapunzel. And I noticed how supportive the Descendants cast was, especially Clarke, because she's Ruby Rose Turner's best friend. I said, okay, this is really cool. This is going to be something special because this is exactly what Ruby Rose Turner deserves and needs to happen for her. And I will be supportive of Ruby playing the live-action Rapunzel for forever. I don't care how many times Sabrina Carpenter comes up in conversation, I will shut that whole idea down. I say this because Sabrina Carpenter has been a revolving door of conversation after conversation. She has received so much criticism for her album covers and her images of late, and I think that the conversation just revolves way too much around the same 4 or 5 celebrities. Just the other day I heard about one of the celebrities that always had the conversation about her over 20 years ago. It was Hilary Duff and Lindsay Lohan. It was always about the same 4 or 5 celebrities for me ever since the 1990s and the turn of the millennium. I think it's really time to change things up and present more opportunities to people who deserve them and who want them. And unquestionably, Ruby Rose Turner has wanted this opportunity for forever. Now, I know how Hollywood works. Hollywood works in mysterious ways. I've been covering it for a very long time, and I've been around on YouTube for a very long time, longer than many of you have perhaps been alive. So they will shut down Ruby Rose Turner and Clarke every single time because they want to give it to roles to people who are more revered, I guess, like a Taylor Swift or a Sabrina Carpenter. I remember years ago when Taylor Swift's career was really becoming a phenomenon overnight, and she was getting roles in movies like The Lorex and New Year's Eve and movie after movie. They couldn't stop calling Taylor Swift to either make cameos in movies or what have you, or do PR for something she was promoting. So I think these stars, that's what allowed them to become very overrated and learn so much so quickly and really become a rapid ascension overnight. It was like rapid fire years ago for people like Taylor Swift and Ariana Grande. I mean, Ariana Grande is the biggest example I can use for you as a celebrity who really exploded overnight. I mean, she came from Nickelodeon shows like Victorious and Sam and Cat, the spin-off series, and just exploded with her music. Songs like Break Free and Promise. I thought they were great songs, but they allowed Ariana Grande to achieve way too much exposure, and I think exposure had a lot to do with that. And I think a lot of arrogance had to do with Sabrina Carpenter's rapid ascension to superstardom. Of course, her aunt is Nancy Cartwright, such a legend. The voices of Chucky Finster on Rugrats and Bart Simpson for the Simpsons TV series for over 30-plus years. The Simpsons have been a dedicated part of all of our lives, so I think that has a lot to do with her family's reputation and the reputation she feels she has to live up to, which I have a lot of respect for. But again, I think more opportunities are being snatched from underneath people like Ruby, and if Ruby wants to believe that she can be a live-action Rapunzel just as good as Sabrina Carpenter, if not better, then more power to her. And I just want to let Ruby know that I fully support her being the live-action Rapunzel, because I really think she can bring this one to life. And I'll have more to say on this in an upcoming podcast on my show later on today. If you subscribe to this YouTube channel, you're really going to like it here, because the conversation revolves around everyone in Descendants. It revolves around your favorite franchises, your favorite stars from Disney and Nickelodeon, because I have a greater appreciation for Disney than perhaps anybody you will watch on YouTube. I know there are people who have Disney shows dedicated to talking about everything Disney, Disney attractions, Disney stars, Disney TV shows and movies, and retro Disney content, but I think this YouTube channel showcases Disney for a greater audience, and it has a greater reach and a greater appreciation for things like Descendants and Zombies, because I'll be honest with each and every one of you, I fell in love with the character Bridget from the Rise of Red franchise. I think her spin on life and her perspective was very unique. It was very different, but it just goes to show how Ruby Rose Turner can take this character that nobody knows anything about or has never seen or heard anything about before and bring her to life. It was an exemplification of kindness and how much it can touch a person's heart. And I want to give Ruby Rose Turner a profound amount of gratitude for really bringing this character to life, because Disney goes through 500 auditions and 500 girls before they pick the perfect girl to be the image, the mirror image of what this character truly represents. And I think Ruby's kindness is so genuine. That's what really got her over with the Descendants audience. She was somebody who you instantly fell in love with and was so honored to be in the presence of. And she's one of those celebrities that I feel so honored to talk about on my show. And I can talk about Ruby 100 times over for 100 different shows and 100 different podcasts for 100 hours. I could go on and on and on about how much I love Ruby Rose Turner. There is a night that goes by in my life since Ruby departed ways with the franchise Descendants that I haven't wished Ruby was here to help me make sense of my own life, to bake cookies and pies and play video games with me. And I say that with 100% certainty, coming from me in sincerity, because I really do believe that Ruby is someone who is very special and of extreme rarity in this lifetime, because oftentimes, very rare times, do we see people come into our lives with genuine qualities and contributions having been made to really the world, and Ruby is somebody who did that. It may not seem like her contributions are as significant as that of a Jennifer Lopez or a Taylor Swift worth $1.5 billion in revenue, but Ruby Rose Turner is just such a genuinely kind person, such a kind soul that lit up every room and every personality she ever had the opportunity to work with, not only bringing the best of herself, but everybody she worked with as part of the Descendants franchise. Every movie and TV series she was a part of, from Coop and Cammy Ask the World to Orange is the New Black to Almost Popular the movie. I really believe that Ruby has something special to offer the world, and I think she needs more exposure and more opportunities thrown her way. And if one of those opportunities comes in the form of playing Rapunzel for the live-action Tangled, I would go for it. Because there is way too much conversation about Emma Watson's portrayal of Belle. There is way too much conversation about Hailey Bailey's portrayal of Ariel, these iconic Disney princesses that people like Lily May brought to life. Of course, Aurora in the Maleficent remake many years ago with Angelina Jolie, and how iconic her role was as Maleficent. I think that we've seen this time and time again. Naomi Scott from the live-action Aladdin. Big conversations happening about Aladdin 2 presently, but that has yet to be confirmed. And if Will Smith will come back as the genie, I really don't know. But when you talk about the most iconic characters of all time, Rapunzel is definitely up on the top 5 of that list, if not the number 1 princess that I think everybody has been waiting on for a very long time to see portrayed. And I don't care who you bring into the conversation. You can talk about Sabrina Carpenter, Taylor Swift, all you want, because Taylor Swift's also been in the conversation to play the live-action Rapunzel, which is really ridiculous to me. I think that if you're going to go as far as to give Taylor Swift the role of Rapunzel, you should give her everything, like she's pretty much handed. I really do believe that your favorite Descendants stars deserve more respect. I'm here to show them more respect, and I'm here to give them the credit they deserve. And I know I've received a lot of criticism for my videos on Descendants of Zombies. Some people love them, some people hate them, but 95% of the people who subscribe and who watch these videos do love these videos, and I'm coming out swinging for Ruby Rose Turner every single time. I've often said I'll take bullets and stand in front of people opening up fire on me for people like Ruby Rose Turner, because when they go home and they cry in their hotel room because they're watching a video of themselves filled with criticism on YouTube every night, that creates a problem for me. And when I see the conversation always revolving around Sabrina Carpenter, or ending up in the conversation to play Rapunzel, there's nobody better to play Rapunzel than Sabrina Carpenter. I just want to shut that down completely, because I think there's way too much conversation. And then the question is, who will play Prince Eugene, Flint Rider? There's all these questions about the live-action Tangled, and then reportedly they had shut down production of it because of how Snow White flopped in the box office earlier this year. Snow White was huge for me. I have to be honest with each and every one of you. I know I was the only guy on YouTube that said really nice things about Snow White and Renee Zellweger's portrayal of Rachel Zegler's portrayal of the Snow White character, but I think that more of a chance needed to be given to Snow White, because that song, Waiting on a Wish, was really beautiful. If there was one song on that soundtrack that stood out to me, it was Waiting on a Wish. And not everything about Snow White was ridiculous. I know it was a flop in the box office because of its revenue and its lack of attention and the bad reviews, what have you, but it was one of those live actions you really had to take a chance on, and I guess I was one of the only guys who wanted to take a chance on Snow White. I bought my ticket. I was more proud than I ever was to be in a cinema full of girls watching it, like I had many years ago when I was watching every Miley Cyrus production out there. There was one guy who was fully supportive of what Miley Cyrus had going on and happening for her. It was this guy, regardless of her point of view many years later about smoking marijuana and weed and what had you. I really believed in these people, and I really believed they were going to be success stories that had yet to be told, and they were going to have phenomenal opportunities. And now, many years later, I'm talking about your favorite Descendants stars, and I've never felt so proud to be in your guys' presence talking about it, because I really do believe that there's so much of an opportunity and so much of a chance to be taking on someone like Ruby Rose Turner, because the reality of it is Ruby is so much stronger than what she is ever given credit for, and I just want Ruby to know that, because she's just such a genuinely kind person. She's somebody that I can't live without. You know, when they announced that Ruby was parting ways with the Descendants franchise, my heart was broken. And many of you who have been subscribed here for a very long time, since the very first video was ever uploaded on this YouTube channel, remember me for being the biggest Ruby Rose Turner fan in the world, because I had the biggest crush on Ruby. I too had the biggest crush on Clarke and Clarke. And I've never ever dropped that idea out of my heart or out of my mind. It's never left my mind, because I think that people like Ruby Rose Turner and Clarke and Clarke, for their friendships being put on display, how they're there for each other every time, how they're incredibly supportive of each other. I've never seen a more supportive cast of each other, both on the set of Descendants and off the set of Descendants, and that's why they were able to bring this one to life. So can you imagine the potential that exists inside Ruby's heart for bringing a character like Rapunzel to life? She's not going to let anybody down, and that's why I'm fully supportive of her. I support Ruby. I think that she is the #1 choice for the live-action Rapunzel, for the live-action Tangled, and I think that her singing songs like Wind in My Hair and I Can See the Light would be beautiful. That would be a beautiful duet with Ruby's voice being on that song, because you take into consideration the Life is Sweeter When You're a remix. It was a beautiful song. It showcased over 13 characters that were often overshadowed by every other fairy tale character and story that Disney had tried to promote for the last at least 35 years. But there was just something about Ruby's voice being on that song that made it so beautiful and so extraordinary. It was the best song, I think, on the Descendants Rise of Red soundtrack, or perhaps any soundtrack having to do with Descendants. I've often said that and been quoted for saying that by Descendants 2, the music got better because of Sophia Carson's portrayal of Chilton like a villain, and space between Sophia Carson and Dove Cameron. That was a beautiful duet in its own right. But this song, Life is Sweeter When You Are, really allowed you to put life into perspective. It really allowed you to put the broken pieces of your heart back together if you were suffering from heartbreak. It really made you feel about your own life and think about your own life from your own perspective, and it really allowed you to take a step back and really appreciate life more. And that's what I give Ruby Rose Turner a profound amount of credit for. So you think about songs like I Can See the Light and Wind in My Hair, the Tangled theme song, and how Ruby could offer so much to that. I think that there's always forever been something about Ruby's voice and just how genuinely sweet and how kind she is and just how appreciative she is of every single moment. Now, while she wasn't a part of the Worlds Collide tour, which I was also heartbroken over, she was a part of a lot of stage productions for Descendants and some performances they were doing setting up for the Worlds Collide tour. And her performances of Life is Sweeter When You Are and everything having to do with Descendants, and how she was always there for the PR, never shying away from questions, I give her a profound amount of respect for that. Mad respect coming from me for Ruby Rose Turner. If you're looking for criticism on this channel about Ruby, you will not find it. And you can't honestly tell me that you couldn't find something for Ruby Rose Turner's character Bridget to do in present-day Wonderland, even if you had to go back in time in the first 10 minutes of the movie to set up for what Descendants 5 Book of Wonderland was going to have happen and represent. You could have done that. Time travel did not have to see its exit from the franchise because the focus had to be on present-day Wonderland with the Kingdom Cup games happening. Ruby could have had some involvement in the Kingdom Cup games. Perhaps she could, sprinkle kindness on cupcakes for everybody and cast a spell on everybody, even if she was the evil character in this, which Ruby is a long way away from having happened for her. But I think a lot of people expected her to undergo an evil transformation. That's what I got from all the photoshopped images and all the predictions people were making about the upcoming Descendants 5 Book Wonderland, is that Ruby was presenting a chance to be its greatest villain. And the thing about Descendants 5 Book Wonderland is we don't know who the villain is, which makes this more unpredictable than ever before. And I'm really intrigued by that because we don't know what to expect. We don't know who the villain is going to be. So because we don't know who the villain is going to be from one moment to the next or what to expect, I think this sets up to be the most exciting Descendants movie that we have ever seen of the franchise, and one of the most unpredictable, because I'm getting that from the predictions and everybody's theories they are uploading on YouTube, in their prediction videos, and in comments they're leaving for written columns, because people are brutally honest about Descendants. And that's something I really appreciate about the fans of Descendants and Zombies. They don't care about the criticism. All they want are great videos about their favorite stars. And because they get that on this YouTube channel, that's why this YouTube channel has become one of the most revered, because it 100% supports people like Clarke and Trell and Ruby Rose Turner all the time. And if we're going down together. You know, one of the things I quickly realized about the Descendants and Zombies niche was how incredibly supportive each and every one of you were of every video that I would upload on my YouTube channel. Regardless of how many videos I uploaded every day, you were virtually supportive of every single one of them. And I could never say thank you enough to one of the most supportive niches I've ever had the honor of providing commentary for. Because I saw a problem being created when people like Ruby Rose Turner and Kylie Control were crying about their political point of view and the relationship status and all these rumors revolving around their life, when they should just be given the honor of living their life the way they want to and to be happy. I think Disney has put them under a considerable amount of pressure, saying what they can and what they can't say or do. It's a lot of pressure, and it's almost like they're living inside of a box. And I just wanted them to kind of come outside of that box and explore other opportunities for the Disney company, not just with Descendants, but with The Little Mermaid and Tangled franchises, because I really do believe that Kylie Control will be an awesome Jasmine or an awesome Ariel for The Little Mermaid or Aladdin live action. You can take Naomi Scott out of the equation because she's pretty much been forgotten about, but obviously she'll come back for Aladdin too because she'll be offered the opportunity to and extended it. I just wish more of an opportunity would be extended to these stars because they have their hearts set on something. Like how Meg Donnelly a couple of months ago had her heart set on being the live-action Supergirl. But I can honestly tell you guys, after seeing the live-action Superman and that portrayal of Supergirl being utterly ridiculous, and I'm being very upset about that, I came away more upset about the portrayal of Superman and Supergirl in that movie because I remember them being so revered and so iconic to so many different generations, like how Melissa Benoist brought that character Supergirl to life for the live-action TV series Supergirl. It went 7 seasons because it was a great TV series, and it was filled with so many unpredictable moments, and she just had a great way of bringing Supergirl to life. Why couldn't she have been the live-action Supergirl for the Superman movie? Because there's rumors about a Supergirl movie going to happen off of this Superman movie, or more projects with Supergirl being involved with it that Millie Alcott will obviously carry on with. But for me, it was always Melissa Benoist, and for me, it will always be Ruby Rose Turner, because I think more of a chance and more of an opportunity needs to be taken on these stars. I'm just tired of how it's always been a revolving door about the same 5 celebrities. Hilary Duff, Lindsay Lohan, Sabrina Carpenter, Taylor Swift always find their way into conversations because of the Eras Tour, or how Espresso was the #1 song for Sabrina Carpenter many years ago, and how she's come out with different songs like Taste now, which is a very different spin and image for Sabrina Carpenter, and her new image is receiving a lot of negative reviews, and I can see why. I did love Sabrina Carpenter at one point in my life as a Disney fan. I remember her on that show Girl Meets World, and then she brought the character Maya to life. It was really cool seeing her exemplify these character traits, and she had such a positive image. But she was really a Jeanette McCurdy to me, who came out years later and said, hey, I'm not a role model. And I remember reading that tweet from Jeanette McCurdy on Twitter years ago, and I was thinking to myself, at least you could have, exemplified more of a positive image for people. At least Ruby Rose Turner is not going on X and saying, hey, I'm not a role model in a 5-word tweet and throwing it up for people to criticize. Ruby is always there, leaving the door more widely open than ever before to have something to do with the Descendants, because I really do believe that when Ruby parted ways with the Descendants franchise, it was an emotional time for Ruby. It was really hard for Ruby to get over, because I think initially going into the project, she was going to have the offer extended to her to be a part of more projects with Descendants, because this was going to be a long time running project that wasn't going to go away anytime soon. And having it done without Ruby, having Descendants by Book of Wonderland having been produced without Ruby Rose Turner, really broke my heart, not only for me, but for each and every one of you, because I wasn't the only one who felt the way they did about Ruby leaving the Descendants franchise. There are millions of people who feel mutual. The feeling out there is really mutual about Ruby being a part of the Descendants franchise. The conversation is happening about Leah Segura playing Red Sister Pink, with all the controversy as one of the consequences of time travel. And while I'm excited to meet her, I just don't want to think about Descendants by Book of Wonderland without Ruby Rose Turner. That doesn't mean that I won't talk about it anymore, because I will. I'll make hundreds, if not thousands, of videos on Descendants and Zombies. I will forever remain loyal to this product because of each and every one of you. I just can't see it being a production without Ruby, because she offered so much to it, and her time was so short-lived. It was almost like she was brought in for just the sole purpose of telling us, what the Queen of Hearts at a young age was supposed to be about, and exemplify the implications of bullying and the profound impact it has on a person. I really do believe that more of a chance needs to be taken on someone like Ruby Rose Turner, because the sky really is the limit for her. Her family, her mom and dad were incredibly supportive of her getting into this industry. And when you have a family that is supporting you emotionally, that really says a lot. That really shows how far you can go with your career and the places it has yet to go. And that's why I'm really excited to talk about Ruby Rose Turner, because I really do believe she has a very promising future in store for her, and I'm just excited to be a part of it. I'm excited to be a part of the future for every one of the stars that you have idolized, because there are more idols than ever before being credited to for the success of Descendants of Zombies. But the greatest success story that will come from the Descendants legacy happened because of each and every one of you. How you showed up at these concert performances, how you showed up at the Worlds Collide Tour, and you were so high on emotion, and you were so high in the moment. You wished it could have been a moment that could have lasted forever. And that's what I loved about you guys, is you never quit on your favorite stars, despite all the criticism that everybody received being a part of the Worlds Collide Tour. They were able to shut that out for even the smallest amount of time to be a part of something so spectacular, because it was really revered. I saw it on YouTube. I was so honored to be a part of the 2-hour production, and I watched it in its entirety. And I came away with a positive review, and I was one of the only guys on YouTube that took a chance on giving it a great review, because so many people were let down about the merchandise quality, the ticket prices, the performance level not living up to their criteria. Could you have said anything more negative than what you did about Descendants of Zombies Worlds Collide? Could you have at least give it more of a chance? Because that's where I thought the issue was being presented. It was not being given more of a chance, and it was more negative reviews than it were positive reviews. And the same thing will happen for the live-action Tangled. It's bound to receive, negative reviews. It's been a live-action that people have been waiting on ever since Beauty and the Beast dropped in March of 2017. And Emma Watson's portrayal of Belle was perceived to be the most iconic and lifelike Disney princess of all time. And I agree with that, because I really did love Beauty and the Beast. I watched the DVD, I bought the DVD, I bought all the Beauty and the Beast merchandise. I was fully supportive of it ever since 1991. The animated classic of Beauty and the Beast has never left my heart. It has forever and always held a special place in my heart, just as P.S. I Love You and The Notebook were romantic movies based off Nicholas Sparks books that never ever left my heart. And Beauty and the Beast will forever and always hold a special place in my heart. So too will the live-action Aladdin and the Aladdin classic from 1992, because I remember there for both the premiere of the animated classic and the live-action classic. So I know that there's a lot of respect that goes with this kind of thing, but I think that a lot of criticism is also thrown the way of people like Ruby Rose Turner, and criticism they don't deserve, because I don't believe in Ruby Rose Turner having to cry all the time because she's shut down for roles. I just want Ruby to know that I'm fully supportive of her ideas for the future, her aspirations, and I think more people can make more of a consistent effort that if they're going to upload a video about Descendants of Zombies, then that's what they should do. They should upload a video about Descendants of Zombies and talk about it in the way that it was meant to be talked about, because we can sit here for forever and discuss how Ruby doesn't deserve to be the live-action Rapunzel, or we can talk about how much of a lifelike Rapunzel she actually is, because she's so sweet, she's so kind, she's perfect for that role. And I will say more about this today when I upload my Sabrina Carpenter Rapunzel video, because I really do believe that Sabrina Carpenter is not a genuinely kind person. I mean, she's always swearing. She's got this inappropriate image on times. Her latest image is receiving a lot of criticism. So I think we should shut the door on Sabrina Carpenter before ever giving her a chance. And I'm not doing that to criticize Sabrina Carpenter by no means. I just think your favorite Descendants of Zombie stars really do deserve more of a chance. More of a chance to showcase their potential, showcase their creativity, because there's never been more of an opportunity to be creative with a Rapunzel character. And let me say this, if I can be allowed to say this, I'll be center stage to support Ruby Rose Turner for the live-action Tangled. I'll be the first guy to buy a ticket, just as I was the first guy to buy a ticket for Wicked for Good on November 21st, because I fully support Ariana Grande all the way in the Wicked production, because we never ever thought this spin on The Wizard of Oz would be taken and a role would be given to someone like Ariana Grande, but she does it because of a fabulous job on songs like Popular, which was a song that instantly got stuck in my head. So too did Life is Sweeter When You Are. It was because of Ariana Grande. It was because of Ruby Rose Turner. It wasn't because of anybody else. It wasn't because of Sabrina Carpenter. Since when have you ever heard me talk about Sabrina Carpenter's music as much as what some other idiot does on his YouTube channel? They talk about Sabrina Carpenter because people are high on Sabrina Carpenter, and they're getting high off Sabrina Carpenter all the time. I think more people need to pay more attention to people like Ruby Rose Turner. I think more people need to pay more attention to Kylie Cantrell, because like it or not, these are the stars of the future, and because Disney will never see stars like this ever again, I think we really do need to take more of a chance on these stars and give them more of an opportunity to showcase their fullest potential, which has yet to be realized, because when it is finally realized, and they too realize their fullest potential. I really believe that the possibilities are endless for people like Ruby Rose Turner, and never enough praise can be given to them or showcased. And I just wanted to be that one guy on YouTube that was fully supportive of your favorite Descendants of Zombie stars and take away the criticism. Because the reality of this is, they've been faced with a lot of criticism for a lot of choices they've made, and I just feel as if they don't deserve it. Because we can spend hours, I can spend hours talking about Rapunzel and how curious she was to explore the outside world, how much of a desire she had to be something better than Mother Gothel ever wanted her to be. I loved how they brought her in as part of the Kingdom Hearts franchise in 2019. I really did love the Kingdom of Corona world. I really did love how Rapunzel found her way into the Disney Infinity series, how she became a racer eventually in Disney Speedstorm. Rapunzel's always had a way of popping up. Now I think it's time for her to pop up as a revered icon portrayed by a revered celebrity. And I really do believe that Ruby Rose Turner is well on her way to achieving that accolade of being the live-action Rapunzel, or at least should be considered to be the live-action Rapunzel, because the conversation revolves way too much around Sabrina Carpenter, around Ariana Grande, Taylor Swift. We need to back off of that, and we need to look ahead to the foreseeable future and go full throttle with Ruby Rose Turner and come out supporting Ruby to be the live-action Rapunzel in the live-action Tangled. I don't know when this is going to drop, but I hope it happens soon. I'll have more to say on this on my next video, which I hope you will join me for. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, ring my bell to stay up to date with notifications on everything happening on this YouTube channel. You're going to love it on this YouTube channel because there's something here for everybody. Be kind to one another, because kindness really is a wish that starts with your heart, and your heart is your best friend, because it will always show you the way out of darkness back into the light, like the song from Tangled goes and always said. Now I can see the light. It's more clearer than ever. And Ruby Rose Turner would be the most fabulous Rapunzel, I really do believe, in the history of any Disney live-action franchise. Talking about Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, what had you, Cinderella, Maleficent, the list goes on. I can spend hours talking about some of the most revered Disney classics and princesses, but I think never enough conversation can happen about Ruby, or needs to happen about Ruby and the live-action Tangled, which I fully support. Guys, thank you so much. I love you guys all so much. I'm going to upload this video to my YouTube channel now, and hopefully hope for the best. Guys, keep kindness in your heart, because kindness really does go a long way in this world.